Hello again. We are going through Micah chapter 7, verse 7, as sort of a guidepost or a direction for life. And I want to remind you the first couple of phrases that we've taken a peek at the last couple of weeks. The first, again, the context is bleak circumstances, hard circumstances, even hopeless circumstances. The first phrase is, "But as for me, I will look to the Lord." So that's step number one, if I could call it that. The second is, "I will wait for the God of my salvation." I will look to the Lord. I will wait for the God of my salvation. And then today we come to the last part of verse 7. My God will hear me. My God will hear me. Have you ever prayed and thought that your prayers were just sort of bouncing off the ceiling, that certainly God doesn't hear you? You're in good company. The psalmist, sometimes they would cry out to the Lord, have you lost track of me? How long, O Lord, will this circumstance go on? And so this was a refrain that the psalmists who were in the bleak stuff of life would say. And we do that today in 2023, don't we? But Scripture says, my God will hear me. My God will hear me. I think of the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew chapter 6, one of my favorite chapters in Scripture. He talks about, Jesus talked about, he keeps track of the birds of the field and the flowers of the field and the birds of the air. Not one falls that he doesn't know of its death or its withering. And then he says, don't you believe that God will take care of you, O you of little faith, basically. So really, when Micah is saying this, when the psalmists say it, it's an affirmation of trust in God. My God will hear me. That doesn't mean he hears, you know that he hears you in the moment that you call on his name. Sometimes things go along for days, weeks, months, even years, decades. And it may seem like God is not hearing me, but in faith, trust that God hears your prayers. God hears your prayers. Now, Scripture has some places where it says that we are to obey God in certain ways, like in the case of husbands, so that our prayers may not be hindered. We're to live with our wives in an understanding way so that our prayers may not be hindered, for example. So certainly there's a posture of obedience involved in this, and a posture of faith. My God will hear me. So this week I want to just encourage you, even if the answer is not coming yet, even if the answer seems far off, or maybe the answer seems in opposition to what you were hoping for, God is a good God who gives good gifts, and what he does is for our good and his glory. You can take that to the bank. It's consistent in terms of how he operates. So this week, I want to encourage you to just sort of compound the steps. Look to the Lord, wait for the God of your salvation, and trust that my God will hear me. So God bless you as you lean into all this this week. I'll be praying for you in that. And if the Lord wills, until the next time, take care. Bye-bye.